In our last episode, we tried to apply POR15 Fuel Tank Repair Kit to our original tank from our 76 Mazda RX3. It proved to be a little bit too far gone, and it ended up springing a leak during the prep phase. So we finished that project, put a little patch externally. It's still a good tank that'll work, but I wanted to seek out a tank in better condition. So for this episode, we're going to apply POR15 Fuel Tank Sealer to a tank that's in better shape, and we're going to end up with a better result. So go brew yourself a cup of joe or pop open a cold one, and let's talk shop. Alright, got the incoming tank from Tony. Tony always seems to come through for me. So yeah, this tank's in good shape. This is the new tank from Tony. Just gonna get it cleaned up. Gonna hose off the dirt so that as I handle it I don't get all filthy. Then we'll put an inspection camera in it, see what it looks like on the inside. Wow, that's clean. Front chamber's really clean. Now I'm calling it really clean just because I know what the original tank looked like. That was really rusty. Fuel tank, round 2. So my first endeavor with the fuel tank ended in a leaking fuel tank, so it was a fail. So what I'm going to do now is round 2. I'm going to use POR15 to seal another tank, and this tank is in much better condition than the first one that I tried to seal. Very little rust inside, so it'll easily be eaten by the POR15 prep that I'm going to use prior to putting in the sealer. So if you're watching this video in order to learn how to do a fuel tank sealer, definitely watch my video, but also watch one by YouTuber Aaron Cake. Great video. You'll come away with a little bit different info, and you should watch them both. And I'll put a link to his video in my description down below. So the first thing I'm going to do is hit this fuel tank with POR15's cleaner degreaser. So let me get that going here. Now I did not buy the POR15 repair kit, fuel tank sealing kit, because I already have this stuff in stock. If you do buy the kit, you end up with 2 liters, or actually it's probably 2 quarts, of the cleaner degreaser, and it should be mixed 1-to-1 with water for best results. So there's a liter. I should be wearing gloves. Okay, I want 2 liters, so here goes another liter. Okay, there's 2 liters of cleaner degreaser. Now I'm going to put 2 liters of water in with that. Now, I should be wearing gloves. I did get a little bit on my fingers. I need to wash that off right away. I'm going to be doing lots of rinsing during this project, so I do have my garden hose ready to go. And I'm just going to lightly get 2 liters of water here. There's lots of suds going on. I do want to make sure I get 2 liters of water, so I'm going to do some quick math here. What do we got? What do we actually have? It's hard to see. 4, 5. Okay, I've got 600 ml. Lots of suds coming in. Another 600. So to really get 2 liters here, right now I've only got 1.2 liters in there of water. There's 8. Okay, so 1.2 plus 8, there's 2 liters of water. Just gonna make sure this drain plug is tight. Yeah, okay, we're good. Alrighty. With that being done, I've got my plugs. I'm gonna plug the inlet. I'm gonna plug where the fuel sending unit goes. Let's get this sloshing around here to mix the POR15 and the water. POR15 recommends setting the fuel tank on each side for 20 minutes. Get it nice and mixed. We're going to start in its normal position. Going to give that 20, actually I'm going to give it 30. 30 minutes. More sloshing. And I will make flat like that the next station. Alright, let's give that another 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes up. More sloshing. And I think I'll stand it up this time. 30 minutes are up. Let's do some sloshing around. This time we'll go with that. Okay, there's 30 more minutes. Let's do some more sloshing. Plenty of baffles inside the tank, so the sloshing doesn't go quite as quick as you might think. Okay, the next station will be right here.
Didn't we do both flat sides already?
Did I do that already?
I think you want it upside down. You know, that top bung hole down.
Okay. That's why I have you here, Gary. I forget what the fuck I'm doing. Okay, this is our last 30-minute station. Some more sloshing around. Be this side down. Let's see what we need. This will truly be a balancing act. Okay, 30 minutes is up. That's all 6 stations for the cleaner degreaser. Give it one last sloshing. And I'm going to drain it. Yeah, look at the color of that. That went in clear. It's coming out dark brown. That means it did a good job of cleaning up some stuff in there. There should be 4 liters in there. This is a 6-liter drain pan. We're going to be okay. Except for the wind. So now what I've just drained out is fairly concentrated cleaner degreaser from POR15. And I don't want to just dump that down the gutter. So I've got some solidifier that I'm gonna get it to clump up. Now when I do rinse the tank, that's highly dilute. So I'm okay with that going down the gutter, but I'm not okay with 1-to-1 cleaner degreaser going down the gutter. I've taken care of the high concentration of degreaser cleaner, and now I'm going to rinse the tank. It'll be highly dilute. Nice to see that it's already coming out clear. Plenty of rinsing. I mean, you can't rinse too much. I'm about to put metal prep in there, and I want to make sure there isn't any residue from the cleaner degreaser. As you can see, it makes a lot of suds. Get all that out. No suds. The only suds I like are in my beer. So no suds means I've got all the cleaner degreaser out. Great news. On to the next step, which is dry it. It's got to be completely dry before we hit it with metal prep. It's a nice warm sunny day. Heating up a black tank, that'll help it dry. Plus I'm going to put my heat gun in one of these holes. I am going to use the heat gun on the hottest setting here. I'm just going to plug it in here. Between that and the nice warm sun, I think it'll be dry in a few hours. Okay, at the beginning here, we're going to have us a beginning temperature of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's go see the far side of the tank. $99 degrees, 95. It's hotter on the left side chamber than it is on the right. That's weird, but it'll be interesting to check it again in an hour, see how it's doing. The sun beating on it and the heat gun blowing. Okay, it's been about an hour. Let's find out how the tank's doing here. Wow, so at the inlet it's 230 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's walk around and see how we're doing. It gets a little cooler as we, well, it's moving up. Wow, 300 degrees. I'm thinking it's dry in there. It's gotta be. As we move along towards where all the heat is escaping, it's down to 150. Now in the back chamber, you know, it's cooled way off. Back chamber's down to 127. And then of course this side division goes up. So there's, you know, the baffle panel down the center. And on the back side it just goes back up as we reach the inlet pipe. So for people who don't want to do the math or do any converting, let's go with a Celsius scale. So we're looking at 105, 7, 8, 109, 110 Celsius, right around the inlet pipe. Let's come around the side. And it seemed to increase as we got over here. 130. Uh-oh, what happened? Just went way down. So right around the fuel sending pipe where things are, heat's escaping, it's about 66, 68. The far end plate hovering right around 50 Celsius. Get to the other side of the divider, jumps up about 10 degrees Celsius, and then back around. And as we get closer to the heat gun, it goes up. That's pretty hot. I'm thinking it's dry in there. $138 Fahrenheit. 180 Fahrenheit. So we'll let that cool for a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to get my metal prep ready to go. Ideally, metal prep works on temperatures above 70 degrees, so by the time I've got it ready to go, it's still way above that. We're going to be good. POR15 kit gives you 1 quart of metal prep, and that's just like 1.1, 1.2 liters. So here's a liter going in. Get my rubber mallet for that. Okay, now I'm going to do some sloshing around. Putting these on because the tank is pretty warm. I am going to give the metal prep the same 6 stations, 30 minutes each. I'm going to do the tall up and downs first because it's just going to get windier here, and the last thing I want is this thing to blow over. Okay, 30 minutes. Okay, it's been 30. Let's give it a sloshing. So the metal prep has phosphoric acid and zinc phosphate. The zinc phosphate will help coat things to keep any kind of rust from developing over time. Okay, there's that station. 30 minutes. We're sloshing. "30 minutes. Time to turn it. Minutes. 30 minutes. 2 more stations. The sun's a setting too. It's been an all-day deal. Tonight will be the drying of the metal prep stage, and tomorrow I will put the actual sealer in, which will also have numerous stages. Okay, so the upside down stage is next. Okay, that's it. It's time to drain and rinse, rinse, rinse. And I'm running out of daylight, so we gotta wrap this business up. Where's my drain plug? Right there. Okay, get it. Take it. Metal prep coming out. Definitely wear gloves. Don't be getting metal prep on your hands. Oh, it's cranked. Where's that 19? That'll speed up as I pull a plug off here. It's nice to see that the metal prep is still blue, not rusty. That means that my cleaner degreaser did a great job of cleaning. Metal prep is reusable. So I'm going to pour this in another container that I've already labeled metal prep. I'm using it again. Yeah, there's no brown tint to it. It's not dirty. Excellent. Outstanding. Metal prep does not expire. I've talked to POR15 about this. Even if it's dirty, even if it turns purple or brown, it's still reusable. It does not expire. Keep using it. Alright, rinse, rinse, rinse. Let's get the drain plug back on here. Let's get a garden hose going. Do want to wash as much metal prep out of this fuel tank as possible. Stop the phosphoric acid from etching any further than it has. A little bit of dancing. Without it, it's a very awkward tuba. Like the cleaner degreaser, you don't want to pour metal pep down the drain, down the gutter. So I've preserved the bulk of it, and this highly dilute rinsing is going to be just okay down the gutter. One thing I forgot to mention, it's good to rinse with warm water, and I am hooked up to my water heater. So if you can rinse it with warm water, that's better for metal prep. Because what it does is it turns off the chemical reaction going on. No suds. I like it. I like it a lot. I could say I'm done. I'm giving it one more rinsing anyway, because I can. Nice and clean, no suds. We are done. Now what I'm going to do is move the sawhorses indoors, put the heat gun in it, let it go overnight. This will be nice and dry for morning when I'll hit it with the POR15 Fuel Tank Sealer. Okay, brought the show indoors. Going to use my heat gun. Going to use the lower setting because this is going to sit for 12 hours overnight. So I don't need to blast it with the high heat. And then tomorrow morning I will continue the process by using the sealer. Alright. So with the heat gun on the low setting, even on the cold end, we're still at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. 107, 8 in the other chamber. And as we come around, naturally it's just going to go up and up. Wow. 200 degrees. Getting over to the inlet pipe. So yeah, even on the low setting, it's doing pretty well. And for the Celsius folks, we're looking at 90 degrees by the inlet pipe. Jumps up to 110. Gonna cool off as we go away from the inlet. Down to 50. On the far end, we're looking at 40. Okay, it's the next morning. I've taken the heater blower off, the heat gun off. It's like 200 degree metal right where these inlet pipe is. I can feel it through these gloves. So let me get my sawhorse set up and we'll see about blowing this thing out. Situating this so my drain plug is easy to get to. The tank needs to be bone dry, otherwise these POR15 sealer won't stick to the surface. And the reason for that is the metal prep has zinc phosphate that it's going to use to help inhibit any future rust. Sometimes that turns into a powder. So what I'm going to do now is hit it with an air gun and try to blow out any powder that I can get to. There might be some behind baffle plates that I can't get to, but I'm going to get as much as I can. Compressing air to blow this thing out does generate moisture. I want this thing bone dry. Whew, it's still warm. I want this thing bone dry before I pour in the sealer. So while I'm getting things ready, I'm going to hit it with the heat gun again. Just going to let that run while I get the sealer ready to pour in. POR15 Fuel Tank Sealer. Should be stirred, never shaken. There is no bomb, James bomb, going on here. Apparently they're not fans. Take a little paper funnel. I'm going to pour this entire can into the fuel tank and then let it slosh around to coat as many surfaces as I can get it to reach. Okay, where's my plugs? Pluggage. So the fuel tank sealer is fairly thick stuff. Doesn't slosh around at all like the cleaner degreaser or the metal prep, which were pretty much liquid. So it's going to be a slow coating. When you're ready to drain your tank, put it back in the POR15 can. And I've rigged this little contraption here just so that wind doesn't blow it all over my driveway. So I'm pulling off the drain plug here. I know you can't see it, cameras are higher. There goes that. Take the plug off so air can occupy the space. POR15 says to let it drain for 30 minutes. You want it all to make it to your drain plug. And it's slow moving stuff, so you give it a good 30 minutes to get out of there. You don't want it pooling at your drain plug and then turning to cement later on. So keep your drain plug off. Good long time. I think I'm going to have my drain plug plated, so I'm going to wipe it all off here. I'm going to go ahead and prop up the rear end here, just to help the thick sealer drain out the drain plug. See, it's coming out pretty good now that I've made that small movement. Okay. 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, POR15 says you're probably done draining. And when you're done draining, you're supposed to just put the lid on top loosely. Don't tighten it because then you're at risk for explosion. So you want to just let air in, let it harden, and after it's hardened, then you take it to a proper paint disposal waste place. You know, in my case, it's the recycler. They take paint. So that's what I'm going to do. Camera has a light, works fine, but I'm gonna supplement that light with, you know, a little one of these guys. So let's see what we got. Supposed to let it dry 96 hours. It's been 124. It's plenty. Let's get a look. This is around the back side. Looking like it's coated pretty good. Quite pleased with these results. And that is POR Fuel Tank Sealer inside the tank of a Mazda RX3. So the remainder of the sealant, I let it harden inside the can. The proper way to dispose of this now would be to give it to a paint recycling place. They obviously aren't going to recycle this, but it's ready. If your fuel tank has a drain plug, you want to put it back in while the POR15 is still wet. Otherwise, it will form like cement in the threads of where your drain plug used to go. So I'm spending a few minutes retapping my drain plug threads because POR15 dried up in there. Pretty solid. It's just like cement. I've tapped that out. Probably little bits of POR15, little fragments at the bottom of this tank now. We're at the front chamber where the filler neck is. Should be pretty easy to blow out. I'm going to do that now with the blow gun, or actually what I'll do is use gravity first. Try to get gravity to let's see what we got. Difficult to tell. No idea if it's working. Actually, there is some stuff out. Some stuff came out. And the rest will be left to the fuel filter. There we go. Yeah, I had taken this nut and stuck it with a batch to be plated. It's gonna be a nice pretty nut when I'm done. But that's why, you know, I didn't put it back in, and now I'm coming in a week later to do more work on it, and it's cement. So yeah, put your plug back in for the POR15 to dry, not in the threads. So I've got the POR15 gloss black left over from when I did the differential. That was like vlog 13. It's thick stuff. I've got a spray gun now, so it's got to be thinned out. When I painted the differential, I just used a brush. So let's stir it up good. I can feel the crusty stuff on the bottom. So it's breaking up easily though. Feeling pretty smooth now. So let's see, let's do some math. I've got a half a quart here. I'm not sure how much I should pour in to thin that. Let's see. I think I'll just pour. I need it thin enough to go out of the spray gun. So, I don't know. we just pour some in here and stop. That might have been too much. Let's see. That should thin it good. Yeah, that might be too much, but okay, that was a lot of thinner. But at least being that thin, it'll play nice with the spray gun. So I did bring it up to about 2/3. So let's find out how this lays out on the fuel tank. Let's get this stirring stick out of here. All right, where's my gun? All right, let's get this poured in the reservoir. Lid. Gonna go ahead and paint the original tank from the last episode. It's got that little repair to the rear. Actually, yeah, it's got that little repair to the rear. It should be fine. So I'm gonna paint it up and have it all nice. I'll either sell it or I'll just have a spare. It'll be ready to go. Much better application on this second tank here. So I'm getting better at it. I'm glad I'm learning on inconsequential items like a battery tray or a petrol cell. So glad this isn't like the paint job on my car, otherwise it would suck. But it's not too bad. It's looking good for a gas tank. That pretty much wraps it up for fuel tank business. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap my fuel tank in a mover's blanket to keep it from getting scratched. I'm not quite ready to install it in the vehicle. Before I install it, I want to put the underlay in the trunk. And we're going to talk about that in a future episode. So for now, I'm wrapping it. That should keep it safe. No scratches. Coming up next, restoring plastic and rubber interior parts using Black Wow. Click our icon to subscribe and don't miss out on our upcoming videos. Peace out, brother.